This is
This call
Global
is now being
Link.
recorded.
You have a prepaid call from
Richard Martinez.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Link.
Hey, how you doing, James?
Hey, Richard, how's it going today?
Pretty good, pretty good. Hanging in there, well rested, feeling much better than the last 3 days.
Yeah, man, I could tell you sound like $1,000,000 right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel right now, and I'm grateful for it.
That's good. That's good. So, do you remember?
And,
Do you remember the last part we left off at?
I believe uh, it was during the time where I got out from the county. Oh no, it was during the time my time in juvenile hall.
That's right. That's
I
right.
believe. Yeah, I believe it was during the time I was in juvenile hall. You asked how was my experience there, and I had went into explaining the county and explaining how I went back to juvenile hall, and that it was actually an easier time for me because I had dealt with the hardest part of what I thought was the hardest part at the time of doing time, which was for grown men. And so going to a juvenile hall system was pretty much an easier experience for me.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Yeah, that that's actually what I think uh, allowed me to get worse. Actually, it actually instead of being a deterrent from the lifestyle that I was living, it actually um, encouraged it a little bit and kind of like I would say uh, fed more fuel to the fire towards that lifestyle because once I was exposed to certain uh, schooling or learning that you get at the county, it's a little higher than it is in the juvenile system. And so being exposed to that allowed me to use that to further manipulate the individuals around me, to further anything that I wanted, basically, and used that type of learning on other kids my own age. And so they were really impressed with that at the time and ate up everything I basically told them because I did do time in the county as a minor.
It's funny hearing you speak about all these things because I myself ended up lying about my age when I was a juvenile and ended up in Van Nuys Glass House over the
Right.
weekend when once they figured out, I guess when my fingerprints came back that I was a juvenile, they took me home.
Yeah. Right. And it's a trip because being exposed there, and I mean, uh, being exposed to that type, it should have had a psychological effect on me. It should have had, I don't know, maybe one of them scared straight tactics that would literally straighten me out after having experienced such circumstances, but it actually didn't. And um, it's unfortunate, but yeah, even when I went through the glass house, I went to the county. At each step of the way, there was always somebody, whether it was another inmate or whether it was actual deputy sheriff.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
That would take one look at me and say, "Hey, call your parents," you know. But I would tell them, nah, man, hey, seriously, dude, I'm 18 years old, and nah, and I mean, I went through the process of, and those were the days where they lined you up, and they made everybody, the whole line, which is maybe 30 guys, uh, stripped down, bare naked, and then they would walk in front of every person and throw that powder on you. Um, and when I literally, when he got to me, he hesitated. And he looked at me and he goes, listen, if you, if you want to call somebody right now? Uh, he goes, are you sure? And I told him, I looked at him and I go, yes, sir. I'm 18 years old, you know. And he goes, man, he just shook his head and he just threw that powder on me too. And I kept moving, you know. And but yeah, at every opportunity, they did discover that I was a minor, but I never admitted to it, and so I ended up getting processed and did my little time back there. Which, like I said, it just should have stopped me from going any further in that lifestyle, but it actually didn't, because that's the moment you get out. What happens? Those around you automatically start praising you and start patting you in the back and showing you, giving you gifts and welcoming you like you're some long lost family that they haven't seen in years. And if you're lacking that, or you're searching for something and that's given to you, you accept it. You know, you actually bathe in it and you're happy and you think it's real, but it's not real. You know, it wasn't. You know, I'm not saying every relationship or friendship I built was not genuine, but it was a misguided type of friendship, a misguided type of of relationship, of going back and forth, of friendship. You know, and now I see that, but at the time I didn't see. All I saw was, man, they're happy to see me. You know. Oh man, I like the love that I'm being shown. I like the love that I feel. And any kid, man, uh, that's lacking growing up, and someone gives it to them, they're gonna go to that. You know, they're gonna accept it, and they'll do anything to maintain it. And that's the one key thing that I had to figure out, retracing my steps. Uh, when I had decided to change, to turn my life around, I had to go back. It's why I kept asking myself, why do I keep doing the things that I do for people that I never even met? You know, and these are people that are asking you to do things that, you know, that you would, if your own family would ask you, you would say, hey, what the hell's wrong with you, you know? But the moment someone that's not even your blood asks you, you do it, you know? And those are the things that I had to go back on and figure out, find out. And it was hard truths, but I did it. And after that experience in juvenile hall in the county, I kept going on that lifestyle until that is September 7th, 1991. I ended up getting arrested for the murder Victor Ortiz and the attempted murder of Ricardo Sanchez on July 7th, 1991. And even then, um,
Let me
going to
ask
the
you,
county.
the day that this event happened,
Yeah.
was it something that was planned or something that just certain events led up to that this this crime happening?
Yeah, it was. It led to that. While I was incarcerated in Tehachapi in 1991 for approximately about 9 months. When I got out on June 25th of 1991, and I think I spent like maybe 3 days with my family before I went into the neighborhood and began to pick up where I left at before getting busted. And so while I was incarcerated, the rival gang had actually killed one of my close friends. And so while incarcerated, that actually filled me with so much more hatred and anger because I couldn't do nothing then and there. And so getting out, that I got out with that anger and that hatred and wanting to retaliate. And on the weekend after July the 4th, we were at a party and we went to go hit another neighborhood at the time, and we couldn't find them. So I was the one that suggested, well, let's go over here then, you know. And I'm the one that actually supplied the guns as well. I'm the one that talked my homeboys into getting into the car and doing this with me. But at the time, like I said, we were going to another neighborhood, but the moment we couldn't find nobody, it came into my mind that hatred, that dislike. I was already there. And so I told them, well, let's go over here, and we did. And they did, and I did, and I was the driver. And that's when my life crossed paths with Victor's life and Ricardo's life that changed everybody's lives forever. But at that time, I didn't feel like I was doing nothing wrong. At the time,
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I was living a lifestyle that I believed in, which is the gang lifestyle. They hit us, we hit them. So long as they're in the game, as long as they're gang members, then this is something that we do. It's something that we live with, and it's a life. That's what I honestly believe. And so going over there, I didn't think twice of it. I thought I was, at that moment, avenging my homeboy's death, and that it was okay. But it took me a long time to understand that no, that wasn't okay. You know, it took me a long time to know that it's never okay to take a life. That it was actually me who had the issues. It was me who was wrong. It was me who created the situation in my head. You know, and it was me who lacked even
You have 60 seconds remaining.
the thought process to begin to even see it as it was wrong. You know, it took a long time. Now I know it is, you know, I should have mourned my friend's death in a proper way, by honoring him in a different way, not by retaliating, and not by continuing this cycle of gang violence, you know. And these are the issues that again, it took a long time. Um, and I did think of, throughout my years, many little things that came to me, but I would shut it down. I would close myself off to even feeling those feelings or thinking like